for YouTube as usual. Guys, if you're watching this on the recording or in the live as well, we're just waiting for YouTube to confirm as we record this live all the time. I'm just waiting for YouTube. Let's see. On the recording. Yeah, and I can hear my voice and everything. So hello everyone. Welcome to our episode number 24. It's such a cool thing. Like we started this a month and something ago. And yeah, we've been doing it almost like every day. We took some break and between episode 23 and 24 now, it was by the time of this recording, it's at the end of the year. So we had some Christmas time. There will be some conversations about, meeting family and so on. And today is actually New Year's Eve for when we're recording this as well. So it's like we're just having an awesome catch up as well just before we jumped in. And we're talking about, letting go or like transform, passing from one season to the next, and then it could be like the end of the year if at the end of the year for you. It could be a birthday where you finish one part of your life and then going to the next part as well. I was sharing something which was quite touching for some a family that I know of and everything else, which is like letting go of finishing with one house and moving into the next part of their life and so on. And there is a lot of like emotions that goes through it as well. Sometimes, like Amanda was beautifully putting, it can bring some sadness because it feels like the end of something. But as we know, the end of something is always the beginning of the next thing. So it could be, which is a beautiful thing. So it could be the end of a relationship that you might going on. It could be the end of a job that you've gone through. It could be the end of I don't know, living with someone that you love, like when you're getting out of your parents' home. And I know Amanda has like teenager, kids, and that will come at some point. Or maybe mom will move out. I mean, that's another option as well in the future. But yeah, so it's like, on this episode, we're going to kind of enjoy and savor these ideas of ending, but the new beginnings as well. And I would love like for Amanda to share. She shared a little bit of some of the routines that you do at the end of the year. It will be awesome. Like the B3 stuff, which is awesome. I love that as well. It's good, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's so lovely to talk. We always have a wonderful chat, don't we, before we start talking, just to bring the energies in and our intentions for today. And it's been wonderful catching up and being here. And then the energy changes when we go live as well. And you can feel that expansive connection as well with sort of the planet, Mother Earth, and everybody there on a deeper level. And whether you're live or listening to this later on, it's New Year's Eve here for us, but it really is that time of honouring and allowing the old to feel it, to appreciate it, and then you allow that space to allow the new to come in. And I think I was sharing with Gina, we both had wonderful Christmases, and I know you had a sort of very profound experience with the family you were with, and I think as well, it's what really came up for me. I had a wonderful Christmas. I was very blessed, spent it with family and friends, and very blessed. And my true deep work every day, it never stops. So for me, there was a lot of that deepening awareness of what we talked about, forgiveness. And Gina had a wonderful conversation about this, and saying that when we allow ourselves to say from that deep place of connection, if a person or a situation or life, if a person behaved in such a way that caused hurt, I acknowledge that part of them forgot who they really are. They forgot. And I know we've talked in past experiences about remembering the light that we are. And when we really remember the wholeness, the love, the light, the divinity, the godliness of who we really are, we come from a place of wholeness and love and compassion and kindness and creation and unity. And from that place, we don't hurt others. And as we're all remembering who we are, we have conditioned patterns that we've talked about and beliefs that have forgotten. But when we work on ourselves to remember, come back into our hearts, remembering who we really are, and then going even deeper and really connecting with life, love, source, the universe, God, where we come from, we remember that we're loved, we love, and we're lovable, and that we're worthy. And then we have that wonderful relationship with ourselves again, remembering that space who we are. And then we can come back out of ourselves and remember, gosh, that person, they've really forgotten who they are and maybe causing pain to themselves, or they will be, and they're causing pain to others, but I can forgive them from this. And it's a more powerful place of forgiveness. We're not saying they've done, it's the different levels to forgiveness. And Jeannie and I talked about this. Yes, if someone hurts somebody else, we could say they're doing something wrong. But as we unravel that and go deeper, we can say they're acting in a hurtful way because they've forgotten the light and the love and the wholeness, what they are. So they're scared. They don't feel loved. They're feeling alone. Um, and we can say, I forgive you for forgetting the light that you are. But when we return to power, love's strong. Love doesn't say, well, oh, okay, I've forgotten the light that you are, so keep kicking me in the stomach because you've just forgotten who you are, so that's loving, isn't it? No, we're saying that we can take ourselves away from a situation if someone's behaving in a way that they've forgotten that, and forgive them for maybe things, I think parents are a big part of our healing for a lot of us, not always in big ways, the little things, or people, relationships, partners, even our children, all sorts of things, family, friends. And we can say, maybe I can forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. Maybe I needed my sister to love me unconditionally my whole life, and I can realize now she's got stuff going on, and in her own pain she's not able to remember that, and I can forgive you for that. And so we don't mean forgiveness on that deeper level that they've done something wrong. Forgiveness is in that powerful, loving place of, I remember the light that you are, and I can see you in that, and I hold you in that light, and I'll see your light. And I think as well, because it's New Year's Eve as well, and this doesn't have to be just applicable to New Year's Eve. I think when we do that, and we say, may we all be forgiven for forgetting the light that we are in the past, whatever we've done, and remembering the light that we are, remember that we're not on our own, and life loves us. Nothing is ever a punishment. No painful emotion isn't a punishment. It's because we have a thought or an idea that doesn't match the wholeness, the love, the unity that we are. And then what this does, we can allow on the outside of us things to come and go, and we can enjoy them and we can appreciate them. But we can let them come and go. But that doesn't mean to say we don't have a sadness or an appreciation in that. When change, life is change. And I think we hear this all the time, certainly throughout all my professional training, spiritual training, through family and friends. If you can accept change and live from that deeper place rooted in that wholeness, you can let these things come and go, and you're not so enmeshed and absorbed or needy in them, and you can be in that place of wholeness. But that doesn't mean to say you won't feel a sadness in it going, or a sense of loss. And then by honoring that, you go back to that place of space and trust, and we say, hey life, I'm here, I'm remembering, I'm awaiting, I'm aligning, I'm integrating even more of myself back into my heart. I'm embodying the wholeness, the light that I am, but on a unique level. We're not saying we all want to turn into drones and just, we are meant to be unique expressions. I'm sure as you're listening to this, there's you'll get a frequency from Junior and a frequency from myself, and they're both beautiful concoctions of different energies and lights. We're all meant to be slightly different. And then from that place of wholeness and trust again, we know life can bring good things, and we don't always have to label what the good thing is. And I think it's just powerful, isn't it, to be able to say, yeah, I know I'm loved, and I love, and I'm lovable, and in that The outside's going to change. People may come and go. But I remembered who I am and who you are, and an excitement comes back that doesn't fear the change so much. As you were sharing before about the situation you and at Christmas, once we allow ourselves to go to that deeper place, we can hold any anger, hurt, guilt, frustration, sadness, shame about anything that's happened that's leaving our lives. And we can say, in that space, we're open to solution, creativity, ideas, inspiration. And in that space of remembering we're not on our own, we open up our frontal cortex and we can remember that life wants to help us. And you were sharing some wonderful stories of how once that happened, suddenly really beautiful solutions just started almost kind of like dropping in, or you were getting ideas to do something, or things were coming to you, and you realize, yeah, life does really want to help me and support me, and nothing is a punishment. And we're all returning to this. In 2020, no matter when you're listening to this, it's really powerful for the alignment, the remembering who we are, the integration of remembering who we are. And it is the hero's journey as well. And I know, I can't remember who wrote the book, The Hero's Journey. But it is all those lost, fractured parts of our consciousness that have forgotten who we are and who others are. The hero's journey is when we bring it all down and we remember, and it gets reintegrated and returned to source and love. It's almost like a child, isn't it? I think we talked before about a child getting lost in the woods and having to ferret for itself, and it's scared, there's sounds in the woods, and it feels alone. And then when that child gets reunited with the loving parents, it takes it back to that secure home, and that child can be the child again because it trusts that it's in a loving environment. And the child's still going to do things, it's still going to be active, but that child's returned to a place of safe and trust. And for me, whenever those fractured parts of myself or people I've worked with have returned there, they all say, and I know I say, it's like coming home. That self-parenting, it's like coming home again. And I'll say the word Mother, Father, God, but you could say life, source, whatever you want to say that, but we realize we're not alone and we're not here to do it all on our own. And that's when that fear can dissolve, and we can still have discernment. Discernment and wisdom is a wonderful thing, but we do it from that place of trust and deeper intelligence and alertness. And sometimes that wisdom doesn't come, as you were sharing, and I don't want to say too much because that's your story for you to share, but it was, I loved how you were sharing that you were like a wonderful space. You're kind of holding the space. There's a lot of emotion going through the family, and you're able to hold that space for them. And eventually you're saying it was beautiful because what that emotion that was going through, and the pain and the disappointment and the self-judgments and the loss, you were saying when you could start to see all that emotion started to go, and there was a space before the solution started coming in, and it's allowing ourselves to be in that space, isn't it, where the old's gone and the new is coming in. And the mind can be a little bit scared of that space because it will say, well, where's the new then? Where's the new then? But that's when we live with change from here, not just here. I can honestly say, it almost makes me cry. I feel so excited about 2020, and there's going to be some huge changes personally that I know are going to be painful.
Yeah.
Because it's change that's meant so much to me. I've loved, I can feel the emotion now. I'm so grateful for the experiences I had. But I know for life to continue, they have to change now to honour the lives that are part of this. And I'm joyful in the change that's coming because that's going to allow their growth and their expansion. And I'm joyful to see that. But it's a huge change for me. So I can feel the emotion of that, and it's all mixed in there, but my heart is joyful. So these are tears of sort of joy, and I know it's going to be processed, but I'm not scared of that anymore. I used to be very scared of change, very fearful, but now I'm not scared of it. And I think that's a huge thing, isn't it? If we can be resilient coming from that place, and then that allows whatever needs to change, to grow. We don't want to hold things to us. That keeps things stuck. It freezes things, and that's not good. We need to allow things to develop and flourish and grow, because we live from a place of trust and faith. And I can honestly say I'm so appreciative of my experiences that are changing this year. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so grateful that I've had the joy of these experiences, even though I know they're going to change very much. I'm proud of the energy I've put into that, to allow the people. You kind of like hand the baton over. You've given them that inner resilience, that inner worthiness. Life's going to happen to them, but you've given them that deep connection and love with themselves, and they're ready to go out into the world.
Uh,
Well, I'll always be mum, and they'll always be my babies. There's no denying that. But yeah, and I think I always wanted to share that and say, although I'm tearing up, I'm not scared of the tears.
yeah.
I'm not scared of the pain it's going to bring up, but I'm honouring the freshness, the new leaf. I can, in my mind, I'm seeing new leaves unfurling. I'm seeing, flowers coming through. But in that, last year's flowers had to wither to create the new flowers, and I can just sitting here. I thank you so much, Junie, because I can honour. I don't think I'd realise how afraid I used to be in life. So afraid, so attached, so codependent with everything in my life, and being free from that is such a gift.
Awesome, Amanda. As you're sharing this, the image that came to me, of course, you have a tree behind you, like on the painting that, which is
Yeah,
beautiful. It's like, it came to me, is like, the tree is let's say the mother for the fruit, for the flower that is growing, and the thing that you mentioned there. But there's a moment where the fruit is ready to drop. Do you see what I mean? And to become
yeah,
its own tree. Do you see what I mean?
yeah,
And to go to its own transformation, which is a fruit, and then it goes into earth, and then it becomes a seed, and then it starts growing. There is the little plant, and so on, and it becomes the new tree, and the new source of life, to new fruits that will continue the cycle, and so on in there.
yeah,
So it really, yeah, like it became clear as as day, that you're almost like letting your fruit to
yeah.
become the next tree, to become the next transformation. And I feel very honored, like that we're doing what we're doing here, and it's almost like that our words that are coming through this as well are fruits that are being
Oh,
planted into soils, into so whoever is listening to this, and you're going to create your own fruit from it, and so on. So it's seeds that you're giving away in that way.
wow. I love that.
So, and I feel, if you are listening to this as well, there is, of course, if you're listening this, just before, like New Year's Eve, and then 2020 is coming, which I feel it's like not just a new year, but also a new decade as well. GC that we're entering in. Um, it's about, letting go of the old, I would say, and allow it, not in a way like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling the sadness, I shouldn't feel, let the tears come through. No, allow those tears to come through, allow the sadness to to embrace, to feel into it. It will just only bring you back to who you really are, as we always say on these episodes as well. So it's allowing that to transform, to, you know, to become the next, you know, new thing in your life. It could be a relationship that you ending, it could be a house that you're letting go of, it could be, you know, your parents' house, or it could be, you know, whichever it is that it's transforming, is allowing the new to become. And you know how beautiful that new tree might be. Do you see what I mean? Now, what new opportunities will be, the new shadows, the new, you know, fruit,
Yeah.
the new flowers, the new everything that's going to come up from that new place that is coming through now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel it's a great opportunity for you guys as well, just to let go. And I would love to, I mean, as you shared a little bit of your routine by the end of the year, the end of the cycle, do you mind sharing a bit, Amanda?
No, of course, of course.
Yeah,
I think I've probably sort of joked a little bit about being a white witch and doing that sort
it's,
of thing.
yeah, fine.
And I think for me as well, I know that when we when we use a pen, I've got an ink pen, fountain pen I've had for gosh 30 years now, and I know for me, for everybody, when we write something down on paper, the energy, there's a transference through our bodies into our pen onto the paper. There is an energy transference. So it's too far away, I won't be able to find it, but I've got this little black cauldron. And what me and my children do, and family and friends, whoever's around, we write on a piece of paper things that we are thankful for, things that we appreciate. There might be things that we're saying, yeah, I know these things are leaving. And we might even say, I ask that maybe there are certain things that I would like to um, leave to allow the new to be reintegrated. So it can be beliefs and ideas. I know for me, vibrational codependency. So for me, I've loved as I've allowed that to be released, I've reintegrated and re-embodied vibrational harmony, contented harmony, peaceful resolution. But as you write things on the paper, and then remember, if it's something you're letting go of, remember to bring in maybe the opposite. So, may I be blessed with resilience. May I be blessed. But for me, it always comes down to may I be blessed with remembering who I really am and living from that and sharing that. And however life wants me to share that with others, whether it's on a one-to-one, this beautiful way here. And then what we do, we just sort of hold it and feel it. Then we scrunch it up and we all sit around. We do this individually because there is a power. You and I have talked before about the power of one, the power of two, and then as this goes out, the power of all the people involved. So we honor. We have the little cauldron, and each person lights individually. We put it into the cauldron, and we all watch the flames of transformation, and the smoke that comes up, and it turns to ashes. And sometimes it might need reigniting a little bit, and we can say that's okay. Maybe this is something that needs a little bit. There's going to be a process. It's not going to be instantaneous. We're not scared of that. Sometimes things are a journey. And then at the end, we take our little cauldron that we've all burnt it in, and we empty our ashes. We have some raised beds outside that we just grow some veggies and fruit in, and we dig that into the soil, because those ashes now are going to grow new things, food we're going to eat. It's gone into the air, and we've released them. And it's quite a powerful thing to do. But I know for me, there's an unraveling of things. But for me, it always comes down to, may I remember the light and the wholeness that I am, and be on purpose with that, and trust however that needs to show up in the world. I'm here to do that. But enjoy life as well. I know life wants us to have fun. It wants us to be loved, loving, and lovable. It wants us to be abundant, in abundance that suits us. It wants us to go out in life and enjoy life and have ideas and be inspired and have true connections with people as well. Both you and I have shared, the more work we've done, gosh, some of our relationships have so deepened and flourished. I mean, I sent my sister-in-law a gift at Christmas saying we're not sisters by blood, but we're sisters by heart. And bless her, you know, I was a bit shy sending it, and that, oh my God, am I assuming something here? And she said, oh God, you know, thank you. I feel the same. I've looked at similar gifts, and you know, it was a real heartfelt moment where, and I know because of the work I've done on myself, there are relationships that are so deepened, and there are ones that have left my life, but I honor them. I give them the gift of letting them go to find, remember who they are. So if you don't have a cauldron, don't worry. You can use a biscuit tin, you can use an oven-proof Pyrex dish. Just make sure you have something under it that's like a placemat or something. Maybe have an open window, because sometimes lots of smoke can come out and then it allows the smoke to be released. And obviously after you finish, I know this is a bit health and safety, it can
Yeah.
be, it can be very hot as well. So you obviously
I
want.
I do usually. I mean, I've done this not for New Year's or anything, but I've done it before, a similar ritual where, yeah, I wrote things that I wanted to let go of, or, you know, pardoning people, or, you know, or things I'm grateful for as well. It's like, it's a beautiful to see this transformation, as you said, in there, because as you watching the fire to go through the transformation into ashes and smoke and everything, there is, you know, it's almost allowing your mind to process that as well, and to let go and transform as well. And but in terms of health and safety, I've done it in the garden, so it's outside of the house, not in the house. So it's like, yeah, if you don't have like a fireplace or a place where to put in that, I would definitely advise you to do, you know, outside in the garden or somewhere, yeah, or even in the park. People might be looking at you like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's fine.
But I love that, Julie, because someone might come across and go, what are you doing? And you go,
Yeah.
well, it's, you know, and I mustn't, we use really small bits of paper, just
Yeah.
paper sourcing. But yeah, you don't have to just do it on New Year's Eve as well, like you were saying. Like I do it regularly, and it makes me laugh because one of my daughter's friends came over. She loved it.
It's awesome. And like I was doing this at the back garden once, a friend of mine asked, suggested to do that as well. And then Gabo's sister was living with us as well, my sister-in-law. And then she came like, what are you doing? I'm writing this, and then I'm watching it to burn. And then she like, can I do some as well? Like, and then she joined the party. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
Writing, you know, few little strips of paper, and
yeah,
then putting it to the fire, and then we were watching that together. It became like a ritual together in that sense, which is an awesome thing as well.
yeah. I think it's powerful, isn't it? Especially
Yeah.
when you always have to do it with somebody, but when you do it with loved ones as well, you're sort of, there's like a sort of unity in that, isn't there? A sort of mutual blessing, and I think as well, I've just remembered now, I just say sort of blessing of, you know, may we be blessed with remembering the light that we are,
Yeah.
whoever's in there, and it's exciting times, isn't it? Exciting
Absolutely.
times.
So, guys, I think this is our episode for today. And like, I want to wish you guys an awesome, like, new era, a new, you know, a new year if you're watching this, you know, in 2020. Um, or if you're watching this at any time, like, it could be like just that transformation from your life, from one thing to the next thing, the end of something that you're coming through. But also there's the excitement of the new thing, and in between that it may feel a little bit of sadness, anger, and everything else, and not wanting the change to happen. But I feel like I heard this so many times, change is the only constant that we have. Do you see? It's always changing in that sense, which is a beautiful thing as well. We would be very bored if we didn't change, you know what I mean? And if the universe wouldn't be changing all the time, it's constantly changing, constantly uh, transforming in that sense. And so, and nothing, I was talking to Gabor like just before we like yesterday, I think we are talking about recycling and all the stuff as well, and how nature is so smart on that sense as well. And
Yeah,
it's like, I think I can't remember the scientist, but there was a scientist, I remember this studying this when I was at school as well, which is said nothing is wasted, everything is transformed. So, and I feel that nothing is wasted in your life right now. Everything is being transformed, and it's, let's stay open for that new that's coming up to us as well. So
Oh, I love that. I look what a wonderful thing to finish on. Nothing's wasted. Oh, that's made me quite tearful. I love
Nothing wasted, everything is transformed. So
goodness, isn't it?
yeah, so enjoy the new transformation that's coming to your life in this moment. Feeling the pain, feeling the, as we always said in all the episodes as well, it's absolutely fine. And you can, I know you can do that. I know you can feel into it. You can, it can connect to who you really are. It can really deepen and going back home, you know, to mention that feeling of being home inside of yourself, regardless of where you are in that sense. And you have it wherever you are right now.
And
So
we're here. So whoever's listening to this, whenever you're listening to this, we're not physically with you, but we're all in this together. When we're here, you're not alone. No matter how painful that change feels, you're not on your own, and you're not the only one that's felt like this or going through this. You're doing nothing wrong, and you're not on your own.
awesome. So have an awesome new time, a new year, a new 2020, a new era, a new decade, or a new, you know, change in your life as well. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Lots of love. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.